Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna. You can take your seats. We'll just go on with Kirtan until Deena Bandhu Prabhu is settled down. We're not having arti. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bola bola Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Banke Bihari Radha, Banke Bihari Radhe. Jaya Radha Banke Bihari Gaura Nitai, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai. Jaya Jaganata, Jaya Jaganata, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadramai. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Vrindavana Dham, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Dham, Jaya Vrindavana Dham. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Yeah, do they have a better?
Oh, it's heavy.
It's good for the. Okay. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So we're extremely delighted to be here in Kenya, and specifically Nairobi, after a very long time. And we feel very, very honored to be here at the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Banki Bihari Lal, Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanji Maharaj, to be at the lotus feet of Sri Sri Nitai Gaur Sundar, and to be at the lotus feet of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to be here with all the wonderful devotees of Nairobi Yatra. We're feeling very, very honored and very, very delighted. So tonight, as every evening, we're going to take you to Vrindavan without ticket, without visa, without reservation, no security check, and no mask. So just to put us in Braj mood, we have very beautiful bhajan, very beautiful Braj bhajan. So if you have your devices, first of all, put them on silent, because these little babies have a tendency to cry right in the middle of the katha. And then you can look up Braja Jana Mana, Braja Jana Mana Sukhakari. If you're getting signal here, you can search on Google for Braja Jana Mana. Sri Radhe Brajajana Manasukakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham Brajajana Manasukakari Sri Radhe Brajajana Manasukakari Radhe Shama 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 Mormukutta Makara Krita Kundala Gale Vajanti Mala Mormukutta Makara Krita Kundala Gale Vajanti Mala Chadananupura Rasala Radhe Shama Shama Sham Charanupura Rasana. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Sri Radhe Brajajana Manasukakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham Sundara Badana Kamaladala Lochana Banki Chittavana Hari Sundara Bharana Kamaladala Locha Banki Chittavana Hari Mohana Bamsi Bihari Radhe Shama Shama Sham Mohana Bamsi Bihari Hari. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Shri Radhe Brajajana Manasukha Kari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Vrindavan में तेनु चलावे गोपी जन मनहारी वृंदावन. Sri Govardhan Dari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Sri Govardhan Dari. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Shri Radhe Brajajana Manasukha Kari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Radha Krishna Miliya Vado Gaura Rupa Avatari. Radha Krishna Miliya Vado Gaura Rupa Avatari. Kirtana Dharma Prachari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Kirtana Dharma Prachari Radhe Shama Shama. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Shri Radhe Brajajana Manasukha Kari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूप अवतारी. तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूप अवतारी. चरणन में बलिहारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम. चरणन में बलिहारी नारायण बलिहारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम. नारायण बलिहारी. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Jai Jai Sri Radhe Sham. Hare Krishna. So this beautiful Braj Bhajan just takes us straight to Braj. Brajajana Mana Sukhakari. Brajajan means the residents of Braj. So Brajajana Man means the heart. Brajajana Mana Sukhakari, who delights the hearts of all of the Brishvasis. Who delights the heart of all the Brishvasis? Radhe Shyam, Shama Shyam. Very beautiful bhajan. Just takes us straight to Braj. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Garanjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Jadati Swaparantikam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Panchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. So I was thinking of some beautiful pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Because many of us, we became devotees because of prasad. Especially Prabhupada used to call our gulab jamans ISKCON bullets, ISKCON ki goli. But this is a pastime of somebody almost didn't become a devotee because of gulab jamun. And this pastime was personally told to me by Jamuna, my dear late god sister Jamuna. Because I was president of Portland, Oregon, in the northwest corner of America, and down in southern Oregon she had a little ashram, and she was installing her deities, Radha, Banabihari. So she invited us to come down, and she told us so many stories with details that you don't find in the Lilamrit, but this was personally related to me by her. Because her sister was Janaki, who was the wife of Mukunda. So Prabhupada got Mukunda and Janaki initiated, and then he wanted to get them married, because even nowadays it's very fashionable, people just live together without even being married. But Prabhupada didn't like this boyfriend-girlfriend stuff. So he wanted to get them married. So one weekend they got initiated, next weekend they got married. So they thought this is a good opportunity to introduce Janaki's sister, Joan, to Krishna consciousness. But they were in New York, and Joan was on the other side of America. That's a long ways. That's 4,500 kilometers away in San Francisco. So anyway, they invited her to come. And at that time in her life, she was involved in a particular type of diet called macrobiotics. Anybody ever heard of macrobiotics? But the only thing you can eat is brown rice and chikusan soy sauce. Everything else is, especially sugar, ghee, butter, these things are all mahaparads. So anyway, she flew out to New York, and they brought Janaki back to Prabhupada's apartment, and naturally he had cooked a nice feast. She's coming to take part in the wedding, so she should have a nice feast, because all of you, most of you from Indian family, you know, you can't get into Indian's house without getting out, without eating something. And they, so anyway, Prabhupada had cooked a feast, And everyone was enjoying this feast of samosas, fried in ghee, and halava, and sweet rice, and sabji with so many spices, and puris fried in ghee. And Jamuna, she was just nibbling at everything. Now, for those of you who aren't from Indian background, you have to understand that Indians are not happy unless you eat. They just make you eat and eat and eat and eat until it's coming out of your ears, So Prabhupada was also Indian. He wasn't very happy. She's just nibbling at everything, Unless you eat to full satisfaction, they're not satisfied. So anyway, she just nibbled at everything. Oh, everything is Mahaparad, So then they were sitting, and Prabhupada was talking, and suddenly he said, "Oh, I know what you will like. All my disciples like it too much." And he reached on the shelf behind him, and there was this can with sugar crystals crystallized down the sides of the can, He said, "All my disciples are liking this too much." And he pulled out a gulab jamun, sugar, ghee, butter, milk, everything, all the elephant apparatus of macrobiotics in one sweet, So Jamuna, she tried to hide it in her hand, but gulab jamun is not something you can hide here. So she bit it, and she started eating, and she was convinced she was going to throw up right there in front of everyone. And somehow she managed to get this gulab jamun down, and she vowed within her mind that I will never, ever, ever have anything to do with this fellow. I will never, ever, ever have anything to do with this fellow. But Prabhupada was so charming. He was talking and talking, and then finally he said, "Actually, you're coming from the bride's side. It is the bride's side's duty to make the feast. So if you come tomorrow, I will teach you Indian cooking." Now somehow Prabhupada was so charming. She just made a vow she's never going to have anything to do with this guy in her life, ever. And he just invited her to come and learn Indian cooking. That piqued her interest. She was a cook, so Indian cooking, all right. So somehow she was completely charmed and she decided to come. So Prabhupada gave her a list of things to get. And there was one thing on the list, turmerind, turmeril. She couldn't read it. And he says, "Oh, anyway, the old guy will never notice, Old guy will never notice. So she came. It was a Saturday morning. Now, in those days, especially Saturday, but even weekdays, to get up early in the morning, that was, oh my goodness, We would peak at 9 o'clock, oh, the sun is out, oh, pull the covers, go back to sleep. So Prabhupada had told her to come by 7, so that means she had to get up like 6. 6 was an ungodly hour. So she came. This is her own description. She had blue jeans, a t-shirt, no bra, and her hair all over the place, like Jimi Hendrix or something. And she knocked on Prabhupada's door, and Prabhupada opened the door, and he took the bag from her, immediately went through the bag. "You did not get any turmeric. You did not get any turmeric." She said, "Oh, the old guy would never notice." But immediately Prabhupada said, "You did not get any turmeric." And she made some lame excuse, "Well, I couldn't find it." And so Prabhupada said, "No, but the boys are finding it. Anyway, I have. It's no problem." So then Prabhupada told her, he said, "Our Indian ladies, they're very, very cautious that no hair may fall into the preparation. So they like to tie up their hair. You think maybe you could tie up your hair?" So Jamuna, she took all her hair and put it into a bun. Then Prabhupada said, "Wash your hands." Every time she touched something, to wash her hands. Anything that wasn't to do with cooking, she touched her cloth or her head, or Prabhupada, "Wash your hands." And then he asked for to make a medium soft dough. And she said, "You mean for this or for that or for croissants?" And she knows all these fancy French names, you know. And even I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, croissant, but anyway. Prabhupada said, how old are you? And you don't know how to make a medium soft dough. You just know all these fancy words. And then Prabhupada, he dumped out the atta, the flour, on the table, and he sprinkled a little salt, and he sprinkled some water, and with one hand, just like this, boom, 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 he had dough, you know, and he kneaded it, and he had some dough. And then he trained Junamuna how to fold samosas. So she was rolling out and folding samosas all afternoon, or all day with Prabhupada. But she almost didn't become a devotee because of a gulab jamun. Unlike the rest of us, I also became a devotee because of gulab jamun. So, and later she told Prabhupada that she was going to Nepal. And Prabhupada wanted to know why. And she said, well, because she was into calligraphy, you know, fancy writing. She made, in fact, Prabhupada engaged her to make the papers for the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, you know. And she said there was a certain type of... So anyway, again, Prabhupada asked her, why do you want to go? And she said, she thought for a minute, she said, we're looking for the highest thing. And Prabhupada's eyes got very big like a little child. He said, oh, you were looking for the highest thing? You just stay here with me. One day I will show you what is the highest thing. And there we were in Southern Oregon, installing the highest thing, Radha Bana Bihari. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So tonight the topic is Govardhan. Bolo Sigiraj Maharaj ki. So we decided we'll talk about the appearance of Govardhan. Because there's a very interesting history in Garga Samhita. So there it describes that one time Krishna told Srimati Radharani that now the Dwapar Yuga is coming to an end, we will go to the earth and display our pastimes there. And Radharani said, I don't want to go to that deep, dark, nasty material world. Yatra Vrindavanam nasti, na yatra Jumuna nadi, yatra Govardhanam nasti, tatra me tatra na miraman sukham. Yatra Vrindavanam nasti, where there's no Vrindavan, na tatra Jamuna nadi, and there's no Jamuna river. Tatra Govardhanam nasti, where there's no Govardhan. Tatra na miraman sukham. I don't have any happiness. Waha miraman nahi lagti. And Krishna Chandra said, hey Radhe, just see. Vrindavan has already gone. Govardhan has already gone. Jamuna has already gone. So then she decided she would go. Because Krishna was gathering all of his paraphernalia for Braj Leela. So for most necessary thing for Braj Leela is Govardhan. So, but actually, that Govardhan in the Golok Dham, he's enormous. So he first of all didn't come down straight to Braj. He went to Salmali Dweep. Just like we're here on Jambu Dweep. Just like when you go to Radhakund, the Pandas, they grab you and they do their mumbo jumbo and Jambu Dweepe, Bharat Khande, Mathura Mandale, Radhakund Stite, like that. So we're on Jambu Dweep. And we know each dweep is 10 times bigger. So next dweep is Salmali dweep, 10 times bigger. And there was a wonderful mountain there named Dronachal. Because all the mountains we call Achal. Just like when you come on Prikrama with me to Vrindavan, then I'm behind you all day long. Chalo, 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 chalo. But the mountains, they don't chalo. They're Achal, Himachal, Vindhyachal, Nilachal, Sundarachal. So he was Dronachal. And when he appeared as the son of Dronachal, then all the mountains, Mount Meru and Himachal, and everyone came to offer their respects. And they all showered flowers, and they accepted him as the king of mountains. So he was staying there in Salmali Dweep. Meanwhile, in Kashi, Benares, there was a rishi named Pulastya Rishi. You've probably heard his name before. And he was living there in Benares. And like all rishis and sadhus, sometimes they like to go on Tirthyatra. So he decided one time to go on Tirthyatra. And he was very powerful. He could travel even from one dweep to the next dweep without even Indigo Airlines or Air India or Kenya Airlines. Just by his yogic power. So he came there to Salmali Dweep, and he saw this beautiful mountain there with water cascading down its sides, so many waterfalls and beautiful kunds and so many beautiful caves and beautiful flowering trees and fruit trees and beautiful peacocks, beautiful birds, so many types of birds. Peacocks were there. And coquilles were there. And parrots were there chattering away. So he thought, my Kashi is a very flat place. Because just after Ganga and Jamuna joined together at Prayag, the next place they come is Kashi. Huge, two gigantic, it's the most amazing place. You see these two enormous rivers merging together and leaving as one gigantic river. So that we call Gangatic plain, all very flat. So he thought, wow, if I take this hill back to my Kashi, very nice place to sit and do bhajan, because my Kashi is a very flat place. So he asked that mountain, you please come with me to Kashi. And he said, well, first you have to ask permission from my father. Because the Indian children, they're very, very obedient to father and mother. They're listening? At least they used to be. I don't know nowadays. Very obedient to father and mother. First you have to give permission from my father. So he went there to Dronachal. Dronachal saw the Palasta Rishi has come. He immediately stood up with his hands folded, and he bent over and he said, Padariye Maharaj, Viraji, any seva Maharaj? Any seva for me? Just like we go on life membership preaching and we walk into some big industrialist office, immediately stands up, folds his hands. Any seva Maharaj? Yes, you just give $55,555 and 5 rupees and become a life member. Any other seva Maharaj? So Palasta Rishi says, any seva Maharaj? Yes, I want to take your son with me to Kashi. Any other seva Maharaj? And Palasta Rishi became furious. First you agreed for seva, and now I told you the seva, you're denying. He became very angry. And he was ready to curse on Dronachal. Dronachal didn't want to get a curse, he was ready to break his Brahman thread and curse him. And he said, wait a minute, what can I do? I'm so attached to my son. But anyway, you please take him with you. I give him permission to go with you. So then, Dronachal explained to his son, you please go with this rishi. So that hill said, yes, wherever you place me, I will never move from that spot. And Palastarisi, that's wonderful. I want to take you to Kasi. You never move from there. That's wonderful. So he became light as a feather. And Palastarisi lifted him up without any trouble. And they began to just by his mystic power, he was flying through the air. Early in the morning, they passed over Braj Mandal. In the morning light, Palastarisi began to wonder at the beauty of this place. Oh, such a beautiful place. He slowed down. And Giriraj, he also realized this is Braj, this is where he wants to be, So as soon as you wake up in the morning, certain calls begin to manifest. So suddenly, Palastarisi, he began to manifest all these calls. And Giriraj, he also became a little heavy because he wants to stay there, So to Palastarisi, he set Govardhan down. He went over to the side, did his morning duties. He took his bath in Jamuna. And he came and he tried to lift Govardhan. He couldn't lift. Are, what is this? He said, I told you that wherever you place me, I will never move from that spot. Are, I just set you down for 1 minute just to do my morning duties and everything. But you promised that wherever you put me, I'll never move from that spot. All right, you stay here, I don't care. But you will sink the width of 1 till sesame seed into the ground every day. I hear many people saying mustard seed, but I saw the Sanskrit. It's till, and till is sesame seed. So, and they're very thin, one way they went, but this way they're very thin. So Giriraj is sinking by the width of 1 sesame seed into the ground every day. That's why you come to Govardhan, you know, this is a mountain, our Kilimanjaro is much better than this, Even Mount Kenya is better than this. But he used to be so tall that when Surya was crossing the sky, his horses of his chariot used to eat the grass on the top of Govardhan Hill. He used to be so tall. Now he's sunk so much. But actually we shouldn't think that Giriraj is subject to any Rishi's curse. Actually this was just a Leela that Krishna manifested, because for Braj Leela he was too big. So after he sank for millions of years, that he was just the right size for Braj Leela. And devotees always ask, why is he still shrinking? Because we can see that he's still shrinking, because we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita very clearly, it says Mahaprabhu came to Suman Sarovar. Now we call it Kusum Sarovar, but Suman and Kusum both mean flower. And it says that Mahaprabhu came to Suman Sarovar and took darshan of Govardhan Hill. Anybody been to Kusum Sarovar? Did you see Govardhan? We don't see. Already that part is over, because that part is because our acharyas, they describe Giriraj in the form of a peacock. His 2 eyes are Radhakund and Shamakund. And then between there up to Manasi Ganga, that's his neck, so we see the neck dips like that, so that's already sunk under. And then the very end of Govardhan, that town is called Punchari, because that's the tail end. In Hindi we call tail Punch. So that village became known as Punchari. There you see Giriraj nice and tall. So even we see in 500 years, he's saying, because Mahaprabhu saw him at Kusum Sarovar. We don't see him there now. Even in 500 years, he sank so much. So why is he still sinking? That answer we get from my very dear late godbrother, Gopi Puranadana, who translated Brihad Bhagavatamrita there in Govardhan itself. And there describes how Balaram, he's always trying to get his brother Kanhaiya to go to Braj, to comfort the Brajbasis. But Krishna, he said, what can I do, Dao? I'm so fickle, I just can't go, Dao, I can't. So finally Dao says, all right, you stay here, I'm going. So Balaram went there, and he saw the situation of all the Brajbasis, and he came back, he said, Kanhaiya, you have to go. You have to go. You can't believe it. The Nanda Baba and Yasoda, they just sit in the house staring into space. And they don't dare look at each other. If they look at each other, they'll see the sadness in each other's eyes, and they'll begin crying, and they've already cried so many tears, there's no many tears left to cry. And the gopis, they're just lying here and there. They don't milk the cows. And the cows, they just take a bite of grass and start to chew, remember you, and they just stop. We just went to the farm today, They were practically climbing over the walls to get string beans out of our hands. So we can't imagine a cow taking a bite and stops eating, Unheard of. The calves, they take their mother's teat in their mouth and they don't drink. Now this is really astounding, because if you come to the Goshala at milking time, because it's not that the milk comes automatically. And those who are milk farmers, they call it letting the milk down. First you have to get the cow to let the milk down. So what you do is you bring the calf. As soon as she sees the calf, that Vatsalya Ras comes in her heart, and then she lets the milk down, and then the calf can drink. And then we have to have like 2 people to pull that calf away. We just the calf is not drinking the milk. This is really astounding. He said, Kanhaiya, what to speak of animate things, even Giriraj is shrinking out of separation from you. Even Giriraj is shrinking out of separation from you. So my idea is that you go out and you make lots and lots of devotees this year. You bring them all to Braj. We'll do Giriraj Prikrama with thousands of devotees chanting the holy name. The holy name is none different than Krishna. Then maybe Giriraj will rise up to his former glory. Bol Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Because they say once Giriraj disappears, then Kali Yuga will really begin. You think it's bad now. Well, we like to say in America, you ain't seen nothing yet. If Giriraj disappears, then we're really in trouble. There's another story in Adi Braha Purana that one time in Treta Yuga, we know Lord Ram, he was building a bridge across to Lanka. And Hanuman was ripping up whole mountain peaks and bringing them, and by Lord Ram's power they were floating. So Hanuman, he saw in the Himalayas this beautiful hill next door to Dronachal. So he just grabbed that peak and began heading south. Just then the announcement came that the bridge is completed, no need of any more rocks or mountain peaks. And that happened just as Hanuman was passing over Braj. So he set Giriraj down there in Braj. And Giriraj began to cry. He says, I'm missing the opportunity. Lord Ram was going to step on me, and now I'm missing that opportunity. He began to cry. And Hanuman said, no, don't worry, don't cry. Later in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna will come here and you'll get a benediction millions of times better. Krishna will come here with his brother Balaram and walk all over you daily. Not only that, Krishna with his little finger of his left hand will hold you for 1 week. You just wait to the end of Dwapar Yuga. So Giriraj, he's just stayed there till Dwapar Yuga, till Krishna came. So all these interesting histories are there about Giriraj. And way down along the Prikrama path, there's a place called Anior. There's a village called Anior. And that's where the original Anukut festival took place. Because Nanda Baba, he was making a big Indra Jagya. And they were collecting, they were bringing so many baskets and baskets of grains and pots of milk and butter and ghee and paneer and yogurt and so much jaggery and so many things there. So Nanda Lala came and he said, Baba, what's going on, Baba? Is this some regular thing that you do, or is this something that occasionally you do? What's the purpose? Who's the demigod you're worshipping? And Nanda Baba was very busy, because little boys, they ask too many questions, right? So sometimes you just ignore them. So Nanda Baba, he was busy, receiving everybody and arranging everything. So Lala became a little upset. He said, Baba, from somebody outside the family, you may not reveal things, but to the family members, you should reveal everything. What is the purpose of this yajna? Which demigod are you worshipping? So Baba said, look, Lala, we're dependent upon the cows, and the cows are dependent upon grass, and the grass is dependent on rain, and the grass and grains are dependent on rain. And Indra, he's the demigod in charge of the rain, so we perform this once a year, this Indra Puja, to satisfy Indra. And Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, began to preach atheism. God Himself is preaching atheism. He said, Baba, what do you mean that because of Indra the rain comes? The rain's falling in the ocean. Who's doing any puja for him to fall there? And what is the use of rain in the ocean? He's falling on the rocks. What is the use of water there? Who's doing puja for him to come? Rain is just coming automatically. You just do your work and rain will come automatically. Just like we used to go to when I was younger, we used to go to so many school programs and always have on the wall, duty is deity, work is worship. And Prabhupada said, then the ass, he's the most dharmic first person. He's doing his duty and working very hard. So Krishna said, you just do your duty and automatically the results will come. You don't need to worship any Indra. He said, actually, Baba, this Govardhan, he's supplying us with so much grasses and grains and water and so many things. You should actually arrange a big yajna for Govardhan and for the Brahmins and feed all the Brahmins and offer a big yajna to Govardhan. So Nanda Baba said, okay, Lala, since you're telling, let us finish with this Indra yajna and then we'll do this, the yajna that you're describing. But Baba, it took us so long to collect all these grains and ghee and butter and milk and yogurt and everything. It took so long. You do it now, Baba. Do it now, Baba. Come on, Baba. Do it now, Baba. So Nanda Maharaj, he can't resist Nanda Lala. So Lala told him, he said, you have to make mountains and mountains of rice with butter on top. And mountains and mountains of baskets of puris fried in ghee. And mountains and mountains of pots of sweet rice, kheer and nectar. And so many samosas and pakoras and so many different gulab jamuns and rasgullas. And he made a big, huge, long list. And you offer this to Govardhan, and then you feed all the Brahmins. This will be sufficient. We don't need to worship any Indra. And Krishna he warned that if anybody fails to worship Govardhan in the way that I have described, there's many snakes. Just like here in Kenya, we have lots of snakes. Huh? Do we have cobras also? Nobody knows. All right. He says lots of snakes living on Govardhan Hill, and they will come here and they will come there and bite you. Just like one time we were doing Prikrama, and there was one little young Brijbasi boy. He was just near the side of the hill, and he's calling us, "Come, come, 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 come." And I can understand somehow, because usually if Brijbasi is calling you, they want money, right? But I could feel the vibration. He had something interesting was going on. So he called us over, and we looked. This huge black cobra was there. And that cobra stood up. He took one look at us. He realized that we did Govardhan Puja very nicely, and he just ran away into his hole and disappeared. So if you don't do Govardhan Puja properly and you come to Vrindavan, you better be careful if you go to Govardhan. Because I've seen the big black snakes there. So anyway, from Anyor all the way up to where our ISKCON ashram is, Bhaktivedanta ashram, that whole area was covered with pots and baskets, and lakes were filled with sweet rice and nectar and so many things. A huge feast was there. And then they began to make the offering. And suddenly, another form of Krishna manifested on top of the huge form of Krishna. Manifested on top of the hill. And Krishna said to Nanda Baba, just see how Govardhan has appeared to accept your offerings. Did your Indra ever come? Did your Indra ever come like this? Just see how Govardhan is so happy by your offering. He's blessed you by appearing before you. And then Govardhan became a big asan. And that big Krishna sat down and he looked at all this bhoga. Wow, his eyes got big. And he began to eat everything. And he's just a little boy. He doesn't know what his right hand, what his left hand. He began to eat with both hands. Suddenly he manifested hundreds of right hands and hundreds of left hands. And if you go to the Jammastan in Mathura, and in the ceiling there's so many beautiful paintings. In one section, this whole big painting, you see Giriraj, and you see this form of Krishna there with dozens of left arms and dozens of right arms, eating everything, bleep, bleep, bleep. And within a few minutes, bleep, 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 everything was finished. And then he began to cry. Aniyor, Aniyor, give me more, give me more. And all the Brijbasis, they're following their leader. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yad yad charati shreshtas, whatever the great man does, the common man will follow. So all the Brijbasis are very carefully following their leader. If you give a Brijbasi 10 rupees, he wants 20. If you give 20, they want 50. If you give 50, they want 100. If you give 100, they want 5. They're following Krishna. Yad yad charati shreshtas. So Govardhan, he began to cry, Aniyor, Aniyor, give me more. And Nanda Baba said, but everything we had, we offered you, please be satisfied. Aniyor, Aniyor, give me more, give me more. And all the Brijbasis, they said, but everything we had in our stock, we've offered everything, you please be satisfied. Aniyor, Aniyor. Krishna came there and he moved his shoulder. He said, but Baba, there's nothing left, you please be satisfied. Aniyor, Aniyor. Just then some Brahmins came. And they'd offered Krishna a whole bunch of tulsi manjaris. You know, when you see the tulsi plant, this little manjari comes. And then just below that manjari, 2 leaves are there. So right there you break it. I've seen all the Vaishnavas in Braj. We know they're supposed to offer tulsi leaf, but actually it's a manjari. Only that I see, only in that season when no manjaris are, then they offer the leaves. But just those two leaves and that little manjari they offer. So they offered all these nice, soft Tulsi manjaris to Krishna. And Krishna offers them to the big form on top of Govardhan hill. And he took all those manjaris, bloop, triptosmi, triptosmi, now I'm fully satisfied. You can hear in the recording Prabhupada saying, now I'm fully satisfied. And you can understand what is full satisfaction. As soon as he was fully satisfied, then all of the lakes of sweet rice and nectar reappeared, and all the baskets of puris and pots of sweet rice and baskets of samosas and kachoris, and everything reappeared just like it was before. And Krishna, he bowed down to the big Giriraj on top of the hill, and all the Brishbasis following Krishna, they also bowed down to that big Giriraj. And then they fed all of the Brahmins of Govardhan and gave them lots and lots of dakshina. And then they sat everybody down and fed them tons and tons of... Prabhupada said, even down to the chandalas, even down to the dogs they were feeding. And sometimes they were throwing prasad, and sometimes it fell on the ground. But Prabhupada, just to prove that prasadam could never be contaminated, the Brishbasis would grab it off the ground and eat it with great joy. In this way, after the feast, then they'd put all the cows in front, and then all the ladies, and then all the men, and they did Giriraj Prakama. Everybody was doing Prakama of Govardhan. And all singing beautiful Brishbasi songs. In this way, they all returned to their homes. Meanwhile, Indra, he realized that he didn't get his offering. And he became very upset. And then he found out that it was because Krishna had stopped his Indra Puja. And he became very angry. He began to insult Krishna. But all his insults, by the grace of Goddess Saraswati, they all became praises. 10th chapter, 10th canto, 25th chapter, verse number 5. Vachalam balisam stabdam agyam panditamaninam Krishnam martyam upasritya gopamed chakra apyam. These coward men have acted inimically towards me by taking shelter of this ordinary human being. He's calling Krishna, who thinks himself very wise. It says, Pandita Maninam, who thinks himself a great pandit. But our Vishwanath Chakravarti has pointed out that Goddess Saraswati sat on Indra's tongue. Actually, Pandita Maninam means that all the pandits accept him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he said, those of us who are listening to this talkative fellow, Vachalam. But if you look at the Sanskrit from another way, Vachalam means that whatever he spoke, whatever he speaks will always be spoken and remembered. Just like 5,000 years ago, Krishna spoke this verse. We all know. Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram jovanam jara tatra dehantara prapti dhira satra namuyate. Still 5,000 years later we're talking this verse. So, Bachala means whatever he speaks will always be spoken about. Indra said, these listening talkative fellow, he said he's balisam, or childish. But if we look at the Sanskrit from another angle, it means that he's free from pretension. He's very simple. He called Krishna stabdam, or arrogant. But it really means that he bows down to no one, as he is the highest. Indra called him agyam, or foolish. But another meaning is that there is nothing more to know. Agya means that he has nothing more to know, as Krishna is omniscient. Pandita Manina means he's thinking himself wise. But from another angle, it means he is highly honored by the knowers of the absolute truth. Martyam, or an ordinary human being, really means that although he is the absolute truth, he manifests his pastimes in the world as a human being, out of affection for his devotees. Thus all the insults of Indra, by the grace of Goddess Saraswati, turned into praises. So then Indra thought that he would fix these Brishbasis. They stopped listening to this talkative fellow. They stopped his puja. So he called for the Sambardika cloud. Whenever there's need to destroy the universe by water, then the Sambardika cloud comes. And Krishna called that Sambardika cloud that I want you to go, I have a small work for you, not the whole universe. You just go to Braj and inundate Braj with your rain and destroy Braj and all the Brishbasis along with their cows. Such an aparad. He wanted to destroy all the Brishbasis and their cows. Such an aparad. We can't imagine. And the Sambardika cloud began to tremble. He said, don't worry, I'll come behind on my Airavata. Don't worry. So the clouds came there. Suddenly, the sky began to fill with black clouds. Suddenly, the clouds were so heavy that it became dark, just like in the evening time. And cool, cold wind began to blow, because before the rain comes, then cool wind begins to blow. And then suddenly it began to pour down rain and pieces of ice and everything. And everyone was so much distressed. And after a while, nobody could see what was highland and what is lowland. It was just, water was everywhere. So the Brishbasis, when they're in trouble, they don't know anybody except Krishna. So they all ran to Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Mahabhaga, Bhaga, Gokulam, Twamnatham, Gokulam, Prabhu, Tatam, Arsi, Devana, Kupita, Bhaktavatsalaha. The Krishna, Krishna, Mahabhaga, oh greatly fortunate Krishna. Twamnatham, Gokulam, you're the Prabhu of, Lord of Gokul. You're the Prabhu of Gokul. Twamnatham, Gokulam Prabhu, Tratam Arasi, please save us. Devan, this demigod, Devan, Kupita, he's become anger. Kupita means anger. He's become angry with us. And you're Bhaktavatsala, you're always very kind to your devotees. So Krishna realized that this was all going on by Indra. So he decided that Indra, he's the enemy of the mountains. We read in the Puranas how all the mountains used to fly. Indra went around with his thunderbolt and cut all their wings, and now they don't move anywhere. They become achal. So the enemy of Indra is the mountains. So Krishna wanted to really fix him by using his worst enemy to smash his false ego. So Krishna, he realized this was Indra, so he went over, and and Sanatana Goswami said, we didn't do it with his little finger. With his left hand, he lifted Govardhan hill. Now if we're going to do some hard work, which hand will we use? Right hand, right? Krishna lifted the hill with his left hand, so there's no trouble. And he told all the Brishbasis, now you come under the hill, bring all your cows and everyone come under the hill. I've lifted up Govardhan just like a big umbrella. And we see in the pictures, it just looks like there's dirt under the hill. But in Gopal Champu, which we're quoting from, in Vrindavan, Ananda Vrindavan Champu, describes the Brishbasis came under the hill and they saw there was a wonderful place there, filled with gardens and lakes of fresh, cool water and flower trees and fruit trees and lots of grass and grains for the cows. There was an amazing place. There was steps down made of jewels, emeralds and pearls and diamonds. And everything was decorated with gold and silver and little chhatris and so many, whole beautiful place was there under the hill. The Brishbasis were astounded. But Mother Yasoda, she was looking at Lala and she goes, Lala, let somebody else hold it, Lala, let somebody else, let all the men hold it. You know, you're just a small boy, how can you possibly hold this big heavy hill? And Krishna said, it's no problem, Maya. And so then he put it on his, the Sanatana Goswami described, first he lifted with his left hand, then he put it on his little finger, just to show Maya that it's no trouble. Just like when we're learning to ride a bike, you know, and Mother's in the kitchen, she's looking at the window, she's washing the dishes, and you're going, look Ma, no hands. So he said, look Ma, it's no problem. Then Mother Mangal came and said, Are Maya, why are you worried? I'm chanting my Brahminical mantras. By my Brahman Tejas, Giriraj is sitting there. There's nothing to worry about me. So Mother Yasoda calmed down, but still all the cowherd men, they put their sticks. And this was actually a special mercy upon all the Brishbasis, because nobody got to see Krishna all the time. Early in the morning, his mother and father and his very close associates, they come and wake him up and give him his bath and get him dressed. Then he goes through the village, then everybody gets to see him in the village, and the girls, gopis, they run to the rooftop and they see Krishna. And then he's with the cowherd boys all day long in the fields, herding the cows. Then he comes back through the village, everyone sees him as he's walking through the village. And then only his very close friends come inside. And then Nanda Baba puts him to rest. Then he sneaks out, he's with the gopis all night long. But no one's with Krishna all the time. Now, 24 hours a day for 7 days and 7 nights, everybody was standing there seeing the beautiful Mukha Chandra, the moon-like face of Krishna. And they were so satisfied. Nobody felt tired, nobody felt hungry, nobody felt cold. They didn't feel any problem whatsoever. Not like us. We have, Bhagavatam class for 45 minutes. But they didn't feel tired, they didn't feel sleepy, they didn't feel hungry. They were just drinking the nectar of Krishna's moon-like face for 7 days and 7 nights. Then suddenly Indra appeared, and he started throwing his thunderbolts at the hill, but they were just bouncing off uselessly. And all the clouds were saying, we don't know what's going on. We're nothing, not even a blade of grass was harmed on Govardhan. Then Indra, he looked under the hill, he saw Krishna there holding the hill with his little finger, and he said, uh-oh. We know when we say uh-oh, we know what should be done, huh? Uh-oh, now I'm in big trouble. He told that clouds, get out of here quick, make yourself scarce, go, go, go. And Indra, he went back with all the clouds. He went back up to Swarga, and he just sat on his throne, and he's just leaning on one side and leaning on the other side and looking very worried. He doesn't come home. His wife, Indrani, she's becoming very puzzled. Because when the husband stops talking, there's nothing that drives a woman more crazy than when the husband stops talking. There's nothing that drives the man more crazy than the woman never stops talking. And actually there's a lesson here, we'll do sociology class. Because when women have a problem, they talk about it. And by talking, it's a scientifically proven fact, they produce certain hormones by talking about their problems, then they feel happy. Now, a man, if I have any problem, just like all the time, I don't understand all this modern technology, I always run to Bandhu to solve all my things. I got this problem with my computer. He says, no, it's very simple, beep, 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 beep. He gives me a solution. So the poor man, the woman's talking about her problems. Actually, there's no solution to the problem. Everybody's losing their jobs. The tariffs everywhere, the prices are crashing and everything. It's not his fault, He gives some solution. And immediately he gets, but you're not listening to me. What do you mean? I just gave you the solution. But you're not listening to me. She doesn't want a solution. She just wants you to hear her problems. If you just be quiet and listen, then she'll feel very happy and she'll love you like anything. On the other side, when a man has a problem, he becomes quiet. Because he's a man, he can't go to his wife to solve his problem. He's got to figure it out himself, But women are very intuitive. They know something's wrong, So they come, what's the matter, honey? Will you leave me alone? So if when he becomes quiet, the Navajo Indians in southwest of America, when young girls getting married, they said when he goes into his cave, don't follow him. When he goes into the cave, if you follow, there's a big black dragon inside that will come out. So you just let him sit. He'll solve his problem because you didn't interrupt him. Then he'll love you like anything. So now, if you're too far along, you know what happened. If you're just starting out, now you have a chance. You know this thing. When she talks, just listen. And whatever you do, these few words will really start a fight. It's not that bad. You say those few words, it's not that bad, then you've got a fight. She feels bad, and you're negating her feelings. So you just listen, and when he becomes quiet, you just leave him alone, and then she will love you like anything, he will love her like anything, and half your married problems are solved. So, Indrani, she knows he's in big trouble. But she knows, I better not go there. Uska mood kharab ho gaya. Main nahi jaungi. So she went to Guru. Guru can go. She can't go, but Guru goes. She went to Brihaspati. I don't know. He doesn't come home. He doesn't talk. He looks very worried. He doesn't eat. So Brihaspati went there. So what's the matter? He told him. He said, oh my God, what have you done? Let's go see Lord Brahma. So they went up to Lord Brahma. Brahma said, oh, you really blew it. Now the only way is you need someone to intervene. And Krishna, he loves cows and he loves devotees. And this, Surabhi cow she's a Vaishnavi and she's a cow. She can intervene on your behalf. And this is our position. We're great offenders. So therefore we see in all of Prabhupada's letters, he always ends, I'm always praying for you young boys and girls to advance in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada is intervening for us. This is our only hope. So he said, only hope. You take Surabhi and she will intervene for you. So Indra, he came back down riding on his Airavata. Airavata doesn't only have one trunk, he has many trunks. When we were in Thailand, we saw, they always show him with 3 trunks, 3 heads. Incredible elephant. But anyway, he's got many, many trunks. And he's huge. So Indra came down riding on Airavata. At that time, Krishna was walking around the hill with his friends. He was doing inspection tour. Just like if there's a tsunami or earthquake or something, the chief minister, the prime minister, somebody flies in at his helicopter. They're all following their leader. Yad Yadacharji Shrestha. Whatever Krishna did, everybody's following. So Krishna was doing his inspection tour. And all the cows, they took one look at that elephant. And cows, their ears are like this. Their ears went like that. Their eyes are already big, but they got even bigger. And then they began to run away. You ever see cows run? First of all, they put their tail high in the sky. Warning, 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 like a warning. And then they kick backwards as they run. So all the cows were kicking backwards with their tail to the sky, and they all ran up, and all the cowboys ran after them. Then Indra came, and he bowed down. This king of heaven, he paid his sastang pranam, dandavat pranam in the dust of Braj. And Krishna didn't even look at him from the corner of the corner of the corner of the corner of his eye. Then he thought, oh boy, I'm in big trouble. He told Surbi, quick, go there, do something, you know. So on the other side of the hill, there's a place called Govindakund. On the opposite side is Surbikund. And there Surbi came, he said, actually, Indra, he got puffed up, you don't like pride in your devotees. Now he's sorry, he's your devotee. You know, just like the parents, the children do so many nonsense things and the parents get so upset. But ultimately they love the children, so you should forgive him. Ultimately the parents always forgive the children. So you should forgive, he's like your child. So then, at Surbikund, Indra got relieved from his offense. So then they came back over to Govindakund area. And Surbi, she began to pour milk from her udder, and that Airavat, he went up to the Akash Ganga. Not this Ganga here where sinful people like you and me bathe, but he went up to the Kash Ganga. And he brought water from the celestial Ganga and began to pour it on Krishna. Big Abhishek was going on. And all the Brahmins were chanting, and all the demigods came, and the Gandharvas came, everyone, and all the Apsaras came, and they were trained up by Indraduna Maharaj, and they were dancing very beautifully. Everything was going on, and everybody was praising this Abhishek ceremony. And at the end, then Indra, he took a crown, and he crowned Krishna as Govinda. To this point he was Gopal, from this point he became Govinda. And Jiva Goswami explains in Gopal Champu that Govinda means the king of the cows. All the demigods live in the body of the cow, so when Krishna becomes king of the cow, he becomes king of Indra and all the demigods automatically. And then they did this Artik ceremony. It was like we have, you know, these little brass lamps. They had gold and silver lamps with rubies and diamonds and pearls and so many things, and yak-tail fans, solid gold handles, and peacock fans with solid silver handles. They're doing all this, and the Brahmins were chanting with perfect rhyme and meter, the Purusha Sukta prayers, Sahasra Sirsa Kurusa, you know, and the Gandharvas were singing, and the kinnaras were playing musical instruments, and the Apsaras were dancing, and finally, and Krishna was sitting there like this. And then the demigods, they all paid their obeisances. They realized now Krishna's satisfied, and they went away. Meanwhile, the cowherd boys came back from herding the cows, you know, gathering up all the cows, and they saw Krishna sitting there with this big throne, this big crown on his head. And they saw all this opulent paraphernalia, and they picked it all up and they began to sing. And they can't even sing on tune, they're not like Bengalis. Who have beautiful voices. They can't even sing on tune. And they weren't even singing, you know, Vedic mantras, just to Brishbasi songs. Arati Kunja Bihari ki, Sikiri Dari Krishna Murari ki. And Lala was just laughing and laughing and laughing. And all the demigods were up in the clouds, and they looked down. We don't have a whiff of love for Krishna like these Brishbasis. Krishna was just officially accepting our offering. Just like they built a new flyover in the city, so that the mayor, he comes, he'd rather be on the beach having a good time, but he has to worry about votes. So he comes, he puts on a plastic smile for the journalists, you know, he cuts the ribbon like that. It's all official, no love. So like that, he just officially accepted our offering. He's actually accepting this offering. Then suddenly Nanda Maharaj and all the senior Brishbasis appeared. They heard something's funny's going on the side of Govardhan Hill with gold and silver and pearl, and first he's stealing butter, now what is he up to? And Nanda Maharaj said, where you got all this gold and silver and pearl and diamond? Baba, we just found it. Yeah, right, you just found it, huh? And then Bandhu piped up. He said, no, Baba, I saw everything, Baba. I saw it all. This elephant came, Baba, not just with one trunk, many trunks. And all the cows ran away. And they all ran after the cows. But I'm lame, Baba. I was sitting here in the bushes. I saw everything, Baba. And this guy got off of this elephant. Baba, cross my heart, hope to die. Such Bolram, I'm not telling a lie. He had eyes all over his whole body, Baba. All over his whole body. And he came and he fell down in the dust, and Krishna didn't even look at him from the corner of his eye. Then this cow came, Baba. I never saw a cow like that, Baba. And she began to speak to Krishna. And then they came here and they began to pour milk, and that elephant was pouring some far out water from somewhere. I don't know, Baba. I never saw water like that, And all these people were singing I never saw her singing like that, Baba. I never heard these songs. And they're playing instruments. I never saw instruments like that, Baba. And these girls were dancing. Oh, Baba, I never saw girls like that, Baba. And then they finished they did this artik, so they put this crown on Krishna, they finished their artik, and they went away, Baba. I saw everything, Baba. They didn't see, Baba. They don't know, Baba. I saw it, cross my heart, hope to die. I'm not telling a lie. Such ballroom, Baba. Jutne ballroom, Baba. I saw everything, Baba. Then this voice said, from the sky, as deep as a mountain cave, like thunder, Nanda, now you crown Krishna as Govinda, because that was the official one. This is the real one. And Nanda Baba crowned Krishna as Govinda. From that day, he became known as, before he was known as Gopal, from that day he became known as Govinda. And the place where the Abhishek water collected became Govinda Kund. And anybody who takes this water on his head, he gets Govinda Prem. Maharaj ki jai. We're running out of time, so there's many, many more in Gopal Champu and Nandabrin Champu. Many, many wonderful details to this Leela is there. Hare Krishna.
We have another program lined up. We have another program lined up.
Okay. So we also have our book with us, Braj Leela, Giriraj, the King of Mountains. And because everybody comes and does Prikrama and they just do Olympics, they run around the hill. But you can't imagine how many wonderful places are there, how many wonderful pastimes are there. So we put together a book. We decided to make it a picture book because everybody loves my dear friend Arjun Bhattacharya, Arta Bandhu, his photos. So we put 284 color photos in this book. Just look at Kusum Sarovar at night nowadays. And 32 color paintings. We had to get special permission from BBT. And many drone shots of places on Govardhan. You can't imagine all the places. 6-7 years we spent researching. And we found every place you could possibly, even places you can't imagine there on Govardhan. So everything is here. And 284 color pictures, 32 color paintings, 530 pages of nectar, and we're only asking 2,500 of your Kenya shillings for this book. If you go on Amazon, I'm sure it's much more, but we're selling it here for only 2,500 shillings, and I'm here to sign it if anybody wants a copy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, let us take this opportunity to sincerely express our gratitude and appreciation to His Grace Deena Bandhu. Over the last 3 days, he has been bringing us such a nectarian pastimes of Lord Krishna. So when you hear him, it feels like he was part of that actual Leela with Lord Krishna. And I mentioned yesterday that one of very dear friend of Krishna has come here and is explaining all this. So, I mean, we don't have any idea of our great fortune. We sincerely pray to Shri Radha Bhakti Bihari, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, God with I, God worship the Jagannath Bandhu, Subhadra, and Shri Prabhupada.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
To
that.
give long and healthy life to Bandhu.
Hare Krishna.
He keeps coming to Nairobi. We keep traveling to all over the world and delivering this wonderful discourse. Thank you, Deena. So let us chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Deena. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,